Hi friends, making some meatloaf tonight. So if you're interested in some nice cozy fall dinner, meatloaf. I like making meatloaf in the fall and the winter. So let me show you where I'm at. So I've been sauteing these onions for about 7 minutes. I have one whole onion. I have a sweet onion. And now I'm going to flavor. I've sauteed them in about a tablespoon and a half of olive oil. I have my glasses on because I can't see the screen too well if somebody joins on. So I'm going to take about 1 teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of ground pepper, and we're going to add some flavorings to this. You know what? Let's go ahead and put my garlic in here because this is going to just saute for another couple of minutes. I always put garlic in my meatloaf. And this recipe I'm changing up a little bit. So this is a little spin on Ina Garten's meatloaf, except I do have some different flavorings and stuff. But the big difference with this one is going to be putting in a pan of water in your oven. And I guess that keeps it really moist. Here I've been cooking for over 40 years, and I don't think I've ever done that. So we're going to give it a whirl. Let's give it a whirl. And I'm changing up my recipe a little because I have never, also Ina Garten also sauteed down her onions. Now she did 3 onions, or at least 3 cups of onions, and let's see. Okay. I'm only doing like 1.25 pounds of ground beef. I'm doing a little one because it's just my husband and I. So if you're feeding 2, you know, you need a smaller portion sometimes. So I've got a whole tablespoon of Bragg's coconut aminos. And this could almost be completely gluten-free because I have gluten-free breadcrumbs, but you certainly don't have to use gluten-free. So I'm going to use about a tablespoon and a half of Worcestershire because, yeah, Worcestershire, this isn't gluten-free. You know, and I don't buy, I'm just going to eyeball it. I don't buy Worcestershire as much. And it's been a while since I read the label, the ingredients. I'm like, probably having a lot of ingredients I don't normally use, but a little bit here should be okay. I'm supposed to give this a lot of flavor, so. And let's see, we're going to put, did I put my garlic? Yeah, I put my garlic. Let's put this up a little higher because now when I put that in there, it's slowed down the cooking process. I'm just going to give these onions a good flavoring. Well, this is how Ina did it on here, but she didn't put the coconut in the Bragg's or the garlic. Let that cook a little bit longer, and we'll go ahead and get our meat mixture. So, let's chop up our herbs. So we are going to use some thyme. Hey friends, hi Carla or Clara. Hi mini steak. So I'm going to use some fresh thyme. This is a small recipe, so I'm not making a big one. I don't need a whole lot. Probably not even really a whole teaspoon. Put a little thyme, a little parsley. That smells good. Make a meatloaf tonight, Clara. Do you like meatloaf? Like, I definitely would make it a lot more, but my hubby is not a fan of it. I'm like, But then I just tell them, I'm like, sorry, you're gonna have to either eat meatloaf or have something else, because I am in the mood for meatloaf. I want to turn this down too because I'm gonna add this to the meat mixture. Probably in a perfect world, this should. Oh, you like it too? In a perfect world, we wouldn't be putting this right into our meat mixture, but got a time frame here going on. So I'm taking a little bit of fresh parsley. I already rinsed it. And you know, these twigs are nice and thin, so I'm gonna chop. I used to always throw away the hi Minnie, mini steak. Hi. I never used to use the stems. I was like, oh, and then I see a lot of chefs do use the stems. They're like that. They've got a lot of flavor, and I'm like, yeah, duh, it makes sense, but I don't know why I never. All right, I'm going to turn that off. I have my oven preheating. Don't get cut. Yeah, I know, right? You are right. I've got to sharpen my knives. I pretty much start to sharpen my knives when right before the holidays. So they're kind of like a little bit on the getting on the dull side, which is dangerous, right? All right, let's get that off the heat. That's how that looks. It smells really good. I feel like, did I forget anything? Nope, tomato paste, all my other seasonings. Give me a second and let me get this bowl. Let's get our meat out of the ground beef out of the fridge. It's like it anymore. I mean, it's just my husband and I, but I usually buy a big pack. This is about a little over 2.5 pounds, and I'll make us up. Sometimes I'll just portion it out. Like if I know I'm going to make hamburgers, I'll make up some patties and individual patties and put them in the freezer. I said I don't make meatloaf as much as I would like, but sometimes I'm making meatballs or meat sauce. So I just portion it up because meat is getting so expensive. So try to make it stretch. There, let me wash my hands out. I don't know, friends, do you like meatballs or a meat sauce? I think I really like, I like meatballs. Do you like meatballs or a meat, ground beef, like a meat sauce for your spaghetti? I'm talking about ground beef a little, both. I like both, but I really like meatballs. But sometimes I get lazy to make them. Now, one thing that I do now is I'm just taking a little bit of these thyme leaves and putting the fresh ones right in there. I bake them in the oven. Meatballs. Yeah, I know. It's like spaghetti and meatballs, right? All right. So let's go ahead and let's put our breadcrumbs in. We're giving this onion mixture a little time to cool. What did I do in my measuring cup? Well, we'll use the old palm. Now, these are gluten-free breadcrumbs. And I don't typically do that. I mean, I do have grandkids that have celiac. I'm just doing about 4 palmfuls. I don't know what I did with my measuring cup. All right. And let's go ahead and put this onion mixture in here. But yeah, I bake my meatballs in the oven, and it goes a lot better when I do it that way. For years, I did it on top of the stove. And I would like usually overcook them because I am a multitasker in the kitchen, and sometimes I'll step away. But anyway, I found a way to do it in the oven. I can't even remember now where I saw that or whatever. Probably on the Food Network because I've been doing it a long time. So we got that in there, and let's go ahead and put 1 egg. We could beat that egg a little bit. Now, if this was a big batch, I would do 2 eggs, but because it's just a small batch. All right. And one thing, I'm just going to use my hands. Good luck. Thanks, Clara. Let's see how this turns out. Like I said, I'm putting this in the oven with a big pan of water. Just mix it all through. Some people put green onions in their meatloaf, but my mom never did it. And a lot of times how my mom makes it is she'll put a little ketchup, a little mustard, a little tomato paste, and she'll use Lipton. I gotta wash my hands. Lipton, the onion mix. Oh gosh, can't even think of the name of it now. It's the soup mix. Oh yeah, the onion soup mix. Wash my hands real good for touching that. My mom always made it like that, and I love it that way also. All right. Now you'll have to let me know if you make your meatloaf on a sheet pan or in a baking casserole dish. I always use a baking casserole dish because I put bacon on the top. Then I'm going to get that pan, and I'm always concerned that it's going to spill over with grease. So I always do it. Now I'll shape it. Now let's grease this up a little bit. Not much. I want to use like a tablespoon of olive oil. Hopefully nobody's being mean. Can I have a mod if anyone is being mean? I'm not sure. I'll have to check it out. Hopefully everybody be nice. Right? I'm not into perfection. I'm into creativity. It's like you got to try things out and have grace for one another, right? All right. So I'm just going to shape this up. This didn't take much time at all. And kind of put it the thickness you want. I have this really awesome pan I got years ago at Pampered Chef. And it cooks everything wonderfully. Washing the hands again. It's a lot of washing the hands with all that raw meat. All right, so let's make our sauce to go on top. Some people just put plain old ketchup, and that's fine. I'm going to do probably like 1/3 cup. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of dark brown sugar. And I'm going to use a pinch of salt. I like a little sweet in my topping for that meatloaf. Maybe I need a little bit more. I like the little more. Because I like it slathered. Now that's gonna cook down, but you know, that's gonna be supper. That's gonna be leftovers, and I love to have a meatloaf sandwich the next day. Cold, either cold or hot. I love it both ways. Just slather that completely. And then how my mama did it was she always put some bacon on there. And I have about 3 slices of bacon here. And I'm just going to coat the top. I'm going to put this fat piece on the end because it's going to just hang down. And there we go. Let's wash our hands again. Let me know if you put bacon on your meatloaf. Everyone liking you cooking. Yay! I hope so. I have about 150 videos. So do a lot of special occasions, holidays, do everyday meals. I do a little bit, dabble in little table decor, you know, just for those special occasions like holidays and stuff. So, hey, great, awesome. I am trying to get the hang of doing YouTube Live. I like making videos. It's a little bit like you don't have to worry about forgetting stuff. I get yapping on and then I sometimes forget stuff. But so my editing tools are my friend. But anyway, I'm trying to, I'm like, you know what? I got to get some YouTube lives here going. So now I'm going to fill this pan of water and put that on the bottom. I believe you need hot water, so let that run a little bit. But yeah, and this will cook for about, I'm thinking this size probably 45 minutes. We want it at 165. I'm going to put that on the top shelf. Let that water get hot, and then fill this up. So we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully, I'm sure it's going to be really moist. If Ina Garten says it right, it's got to be true. I said in all my years, I don't know why I've never thought about this. All right, I'm thinking I've probably got like maybe 3 or 4 cups of water here. Let me back up a little bit. And get that in the oven. But yeah, go ahead, friends, and check me out on my YouTube channel, Back to Home with Doreen. We've got a lot of great Thanksgiving and Christmas recipes. One of my favorites is this cranberry orange trifle. It's got layers of gingerbread, an orange custard cream, and a homemade cranberry filling. Oh, that is so delicious. So give that a check out. That's one of my favorite Christmas desserts. And then I do a fun, one of the appetizers that I do for either Christmas or Thanksgiving is those water chestnuts. You take the whole, if you can find the whole, I have a hard time. I live in the Pacific Northwest now and I can only find the sliced water chestnuts, but you take the whole chestnut and you wrap that in bacon. See, we like bacon at our house. And then it has like a nice chili sauce that you add like brown sugar, mayonnaise. I can't think of all the, because I wasn't planning on talking about that. But anyway, you make this glaze and you bake that in the oven. That's one of my most requested appetizers. So anyway, we're going to bake this. I'm not going to stay on the whole time because it's going to take a little bit, but I'll try to come back tonight and show you the finished product. We want this meatloaf to be 160. So We just gotta let it bake. So thanks for watching, friends. I hope you catch me later. Like I said, I'll come back on. Thanks for watching and hanging out with me. Oh, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that now. You'll catch all my latest videos, and we are going to be talking a lot about Thanksgiving. And I should mention, see, that's why I don't like to do live, because I forget things. But I do have a free ebook. It's called 7 Steps to Hosting a Stress-Free Thanksgiving Dinner. And it's like your go-to guide for hosting Thanksgiving. We got all from thaw charts for your turkey, cook charts for your turkey. Also, there's like how many pounds of turkey you need for how many guests you're going to have, and just great ideas on how to be organized, your storage and refrigerator. That's always like, how are you going to fit all this food? But I have some hacks there. So if you go and see some of my older videos, I do have some videos about how to maximize your fridge space and some of the things I do that have really helped out trying to fit all that food for the holidays. But anyway, it was, no, I don't play any video games on there. So, but anyway, or I don't know, play Meme Wars Live. Is that a game? No, I'm sorry. I don't play any of the video games. But anyway, I will come back and show you this finished. So thanks for hanging out with me. Maybe I'll see you later. Bye.